You must like friend Twilight very much. No, I really don't. Hey friends, it's something. Hi peeps, here and today we'll be playing Here for Sweethearts again. Last time we left off, we played Vasilis's story and Twyla. Twyla, I know, I didn't really like her, but like, I know she's like a detective character or whatever, so... And now we're gonna play Intermission. Yep. And just like that, another beautiful day is here to welcome you. Honestly, it's a bit more concerning. Some days are breezier than others, some sunnier than others, but all of them just have been extremely pleasant. Does it ever rain here? Or become moderately cloudy? But raining is the best weather. As someone who lives in somewhere that is very hot and tropical, I hate the sun. But it is necessary for us to live, so I don't necessarily hate it, I just don't like being sweaty 24/7. But should you really complain? After all, rain would be a no good. How dare you? Rain is like the best day. You have to go to the library again today. After weeks of average homework, you've got the first big essay to cover. A science project about the study of parasites. Ooh, nice. You don't mind it too much. Biology can be pretty fun at times. You just hope that the essay won't take you too long to complete. Hopefully by the time you're done in the library, you can at least consider yourself about halfway through. You were almost at the library when you stopped. You hear something. It sounded almost like an argument. Eavesdropping is fairly looked down upon, and if you're caught, well, it's sure to be bad on your reputation. But you feel as if you can't help yourself in this situation. You can't tell exactly where the voice was coming from, but there was a very distinct voice there, one you hadn't heard before. It definitely wasn't any of your teachers. You try to tune out everything else around you to hear it as best you can. Even still, parts of the conversations are muffled, but you discern what you can. Will didn't tell me she was a student here. Of course it is. You're the reason why I'm here. It's fine. I'm leaving. Things quieted after that. You stayed still and silent for just a few moments longer to be sure. Although you did not hear anything, you did run into someone as she turned the corner. Oh. Is she okay? It's the headmistress, but she looks a little... You call out to her. Oh. Hello? And suddenly she appears totally normal. You ask her if she's, alright. Yes, I'm fine. Why do you ask? Well, she was looking a little off just then, and by off I mean possessed. It sounded like she was having to fight with someone moments before. Oh, no, Bean. I'm fine. There's really nothing for you to worry about. It's a private matter, okay? But it's over with now. Please go on with your day, alright? The headmistress continues on past you. Curious, you look around to where she just came from. There's no one there. You suppose the issue really is over then. Oh well. No use in sweating it now, especially when you have homework that needs to be taken care of. You continue on to the library. A large violet dome opens itself to you once again. You enjoy the sight of it, and it's best if you do. After all, you'd be sitting here for quite a while. You waste no time in finding a section you need and a nearby table to sit at. Procrastination is tempting, but not as tempting as being able to finish your essay early and using the rest of your time to hang out with your friends. Well, but if you procrastinate, you can have fun and then panic. You take out a few books from the shelves, plop yourself in front of a computer and get to work. How long has it been? You didn't really pay too close attention to the time when you started, but you checked the clock anyways. If you had to estimate, it's been 45 minutes, maybe 50? You've been working pretty steadily until this point, but your work ethic is starting to wear thin. Understandable. The computer screen feels harsh, and your fingers feel a tinge of exhaustion with each letter the more you type. You can feel it. The gentle caresses of procrastination. It creeps up behind you, lulling you into a delightful thought after thought. Take a break. You deserve it. You've worked for so long already. Just a 10-minute break and you'll totally return to work afterwards. You feel as though you were in a stalemate with yourself. You feel tired. You want a break. You're very, very hungry. But in only a few sentences, you'll be at the end of your current page. And from that point on, it's only a few more paragraphs until you're done for good. If you just breeze through it now, you can relax and not worry about it for the rest of the week. Taking a break sounds delightful, but will you really return to work after? What was that? It happened again. Someone was peeking at you from behind the bookshelves. You weren't sure of it the first time, but after you started paying attention, you definitely caught them looking at you. She didn't hide it the second time. She continued staring at you for a few seconds and shook her head, then disappeared behind the bookshelf. Well, if there was any excuse to take a break now, this was it. You got up from your chair and looked around the bookshelf she had just emerged from. You spotted her as she was grabbing books from a cart and aligning them in the shelves. And she spotted you in return. Oh! The librarian! It was you all along. Sorry, did I creep you out before? I didn't mean to. I just thought you were someone else. Doesn't her complexion feel familiar? Doesn't her eyes feel familiar? Seeing you gave me a bit of a double take it, that's all. Who are you? Oh, sorry. I'm the librarian. I knew it. You can call me Miss B. Miss B. You get a good look at her. Throughout all your time in the library, you don't think you've actually seen her before. And yet, she comes with such a strong sense of familiarity. Yeah, she does. Like she was always here, and you just weren't paying enough attention to notice her before. Like you always knew her, and you just forgot to formally say hi. And yet, looking at her now, you remember Tina describing the librarian as easygoing, but she looks more gloomy than anything else. She appears to be around the same age as the headmistress, but her face isn't doing her any favors. Her eye bags are deep and dark, as if she hasn't been sleeping. The corners of her mouth pull downwards, as if smiling would require energy she just doesn't have. She stands slouched, although it doesn't seem like it's causing her any pain to do so. Not yet, anyways. Perhaps the reason you never saw her before is because she looks like she's trying to remain hidden. Her shoes are flat and quiet. She wears soft clothes with no noisy accessories or jewelry. Even now, the way she's standing, it's like she's trying to borrow herself between the cart and the bookshelf, as if she doesn't want you to even see her now. Sorry, did you need help with something? You're kinda just staring at me. Do you need help with that? Where are the other librarians? I'm looking for an excuse to slack on my essay. Huh? I don't think I understand. You tell her that you're more than happy to put your essay on the side for a few minutes, and helping her put away the books would be a mighty fine excuse to do that. Don't worry about it. After all, it's not like you're getting paid to do it like I am. You tell her that you don't mind. You've always liked to help other people. You're very sweet. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. Bean, is it? My, that is a wonderful name. You must be so proud to wear it. Thank you for wanting to help me. If you're absolutely sure you want to, I won't stop you. I appreciate the help. You tell her that the pleasure is all yours. She finishes loading the few books into the cart, and you grab the handles on the end. You begin rolling the cart across the library carpet, its front left wheel wiggling as you do so. Despite this, you're able to steer it and roll it pretty easily. You follow Miss B as she continues down the narrow space between the bookshelves. Her walk is as gloomy as her appearance. She moves so slowly, it feels almost like that the cardigan she wears might be heavier than it looks. You notice that she picks at her hands a lot as she moves, as though her hands would be discontented to remain by her sides. She doesn't look nervous though. The picking of her hands doesn't seem to have any anxious cause to underlie it. I mean, yours might be a bad habit. It's more as though it's something to keep her brain entertained. She scans the shelf with half-lit eyes. Surely she knows this library like the back of her own hand already. Scanning the shelves is not necessary if she knows where she's going. Maybe she's not the librarian. But just like with her hands, it must be to keep her brain busy. Or maybe you're just making too many assumptions about someone else. Eventually she stops in front of a bookshelf. She begins removing books from the cart and reshelving them. and, in turn, moves the books from the shelves and loads them into the cart. She does this quietly, naturally, a firm member of the library's ecosystem, keeping it well manicured and healthy from behind the scenes. You notice that on occasion her eyes dart to you and then quickly look away. It's like she wants to talk to you but is unsure what to say or how to go about it. It looks like it might help if you take the initiative, so you ask her, what are your favorite kind of books? Oh? Well, I don't know. I really liked reading more when I was younger. Nowadays, I find it difficult to start a book. You ask her what she means by that. It's just, like, a lot, you know? To start a new journey, to learn about these new people, get attached to them and invest in their adventures. That takes so much energy. Energy that I don't have. I'm sure I'd feel winded just after the first page, but it's fine. The adventures in those books are already written. They don't need me to read them to have their happy ending. She said earlier that she liked books better when she was younger. What kind of books did she like then? It's cheesy and stereotypical. But I was always a sucker for romance novels. I loved them. I had hardcovers of my favorite series, and I used to read them and reread them all the time. I eventually threw a whole party for one when the movie adaptation of the first book in the series came out. Yeah, those were the good times. What I wouldn't give to go back to those days. Her words trail off more after that. She remains quiet, and for a few moments longer before she continues to wordlessly straighten out the shelves like before. The librarian's silence feels a bit more heavy now. Miss B scans the book when... Huh? When did this get here? Did I put this here? When would I have... Oh gosh, I really am losing my marbles, aren't I? Miss B reaches up to take the book off the shelf, but as she does so, it slips right from her fingertips. It falls open right before your feet, so naturally you go to pick it up for her. However, when you see the picture it opened to, you hold the book open in your hand and gaze at its pages for a moment. Huh. The eyes. Is this Miss B? The heart reminds me of the main character. Could it be their father? It appears to be a scrapbook. Photographs dot the page, and any negative space between seems to have been eliminated through the loving art of scribbling. But this specific picture, that swoopy hair and the smug grin, is that my dad? There's no mistaking I knew it. And then the woman he's standing next to. This must be... Isn't it a nice picture? I was a lot cuter then, wasn't I? Damn, I'm so smart. That guy I'm with. Can you now see why I was looking at you before? You look so much like him. Do you recognize him at all? I was thinking that you might be related. No. Nope. Yeah, figures. The resemblance is a bit uncanny, but sometimes people just look alike. Miss B stands next to you, gazing down at the picture. It's almost as if you can see the floodgates being opened in her mind, memories washing upon her just like the waves do the sand. This guy, you see, he was my boyfriend, and I liked him so much. Are you my mom? Miss B gently takes the book from your hands and sits on the floor with it, in such a way that insinuates she's inviting you to take a seat next to her and look through it too. The more pages go by, the more pictures there are of her and Dad together. Each page is doodled with hearts, notes of what the memory each picture corresponds to, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of love in this book. He really stole my heart, you know. I had dated people before him, but he was different. He was so charming and lovely. I never had anyone to make my heart feel so full, so content. Every day with him was so fun. It felt like dancing on the moon. I really thought we were going to be together forever. And then? Her face sinks. Then he left me. Things were going so well, I didn't understand why. He didn't even explain himself. He told me he didn't love me anymore. He He said it so casually too. Like all of our time spent together didn't mean anything to him. He almost sounded excited to be rid of me. I'm sorry. My baggage isn't any of your business. It's just, after he was gone, I never felt so empty inside. It almost feels like when he left, he took my heart with him. Okay, so I've been having like a theory, like at the back of my head I've been having a theory that like, what if we all just have magic or something? Or like a special ability? Because like the headmistress, she look at her, she can do something. Some of the other people have like animal parts, like Theodore has like, I think deer horns. What was that guy's name? That guy, husky. He's like a dog husky, you know. So what if I have just like the power to literally take people's hearts? So when, like, you know, this. And I've been trying to get it back ever since. I will give your heart back. You see, you understand what's going on now. You place a reassuring hand on Miss B's shoulder. You tell her not to worry. You're sure her heart will find its way back to her one day. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. Come on. We're almost done putting these books away. You continue to help Miss B for a few more shelves. It takes you a bit longer than you expected, and before you know it, she's telling you that she's going to have to close the library soon. The two of you make your way back towards the entrance. As you do so, you stop by the computer you were working at and make sure to pick up all the things, save your work, and log out before you go. Right before you are about to leave, you turn back to her. She gives you a polite smile as she finishes putting some last-minute books away. Thank you again for helping me today, Bean. It was very nice of you. I'm sure I'll see you back at the library soon again. Take care, okay? Bye. What did you say? You said goodbye, Miss B. Yeah, that's what I thought you said. Oh my god, I made her cry. What is this? I don't understand why I'm... She slinks back between the bookcases, not a sniffle to be heard. You open the front doors and make your way out. That's it? I just let her cry alone in the... Oh yeah, I know. Who is this? Yeah, figures. Resemblance, okay. Not at all. Okay, yeah, all of it's the same. So I can't tell her anything then. Any plans for the weekend? Eh? Oh, does grocery shopping count? You give her a soft chuckle. She should consider going out this weekend, you think. It's supposed to be beautiful out. Though, when isn't it around here? I don't know. That seems like a lot of work. I don't know what I'd do or who I would go with. Well, what does she like to do? I don't know. I mostly just work. That's all? Yeah. She doesn't do anything when she's off of work. I do chores. Get groceries, do laundry, clean stuff. So she's an adult is what I'm hearing. And what about for relaxation? Fun? I take naps. Maybe sit in the sun for a little bit. I started to listen to music when I do so. We tell her that sounds nice. Why doesn't she call up a friend maybe and they can do that together at the park or something? Well, I need a friend for that first. I hope saying that doesn't bum you out. I had friends back in my old town, but when I moved here and got this job, it wasn't that easy to make new friends. I used to be really great at it too, you know? The kind of person to run up to you first and attach myself to your hip. But nowadays, the thoughts of making new friends... Who has the energy for all of that? Especially if you're gonna say goodbye to them again one day. What's the point? I feel tired just thinking about it. Her words trail off after that. She remains quiet and still for a few moments longer before continuing to wordlessly straighten out the shelves like before. The library's silence feel a bit heavier now. Miss B scanned the book and went, okay. What are you doing here? Oh, sorry. I'm the librarian. You can call me Miss B. Miss B. You get a good look at her. Okay. You need help with that? With what? The books, of course. There seems to be a lot in the cart, and the library is pretty big. Oh, you're so sweet. Don't worry about it. After all, it's not like you're getting paid to do it like I am. Have you always wanted to be a librarian? Huh? Oh, no, not really. It's fine. It's quiet and the school is nice. Helps pay the bills. It's fine. Is that so? You're unable to resist the urge to ask her why she became a librarian when she doesn't seem that thrilled about it. I mean, it's not as if I had much of a choice. I wasn't really in a great place when I took this job, and not a lot of opportunities were open for me. But life couldn't just wait around for me to get better. The clock keeps ticking, and you have to keep going with it no matter what. I have to make a living somehow, you know? And this job, it's not as if it's easy, but nobody cares how slow I do it. You see. Then you ask, if she hadn't been in such a bad place, if she had the opportunity to choose any job she would have wanted, what would she be doing? If I tell you, you might laugh at me. You assure her that you'll do nothing of the sort. A model? Oh? Or a pop star, or an actress. One of those pretty people on game shows, the ones who flip over letters and reveal prizes behind curtains. Yeah, that was my dream job. I wanted to be someone who everyone looked at and loved. You're surprised to hear that, but you don't say it out loud, given the way she seems to be now. Well, you just didn't expect that from her. It's a little silly, right? But I always believed it would happen. Nowadays, though, I don't think I have the energy for anything like that anymore. Her words trail off after that. She remains quiet and still for a few moments longer before continuing to wordlessly straighten out the shelves like before. The library silence feels a bit heavy now. Where are the other librarians? Huh? Oh no, it's just me, haha. So she has to pull away all those books by herself? That hardly seems fair. Hearing that, you offer to help. Don't worry about it. After all, it's not like getting paid. Done all of those. I've done all of that either. Okay, so there's no way to win her heart. Alright, Gunther. Husky man. Big, husky boy. Why were you here again? Oh right, you remember now. Twyla had invited you to lunch. It's the weekend now, so lunchtime is a bit different for everyone. You're leaning up against the wall waiting for her. Though it feels weird to be doing so. As if you're trying too hard to look cool. But if you were to sit at the table, you're almost certain you would look like much more of a loser sitting alone. There weren't too many kids in here right now, but there was definitely enough that it would be weird to sit by yourself. Damn, who cares about if it's weird to sit by yourself? At least you didn't eat lunch in the bathroom. Like me. But you weren't waiting for long when Bean. Oh, Gunther! I forgot. I thought I was waiting for Twyla, but okay. Gunther jogged up beside you at the cafeteria. Remember Gunther from the other day with Twyla, but you weren't able to talk to him much before he ran off. He was just as hulking as you remember him being. You greeted him warmly and he smiles at you. It is nice to see you again. Gunther has come to wait for friend Twyla. You tell Gunther that's funny, you're also here for Twyla. The more the merrier. Come on, let's sit. You and Gunther choose to sit at an empty table. You're in view of the entrance. Twyla can't possibly miss you when she comes in. After you choose your table, you watch Gunther get up from his seat and make his way to the kitchen area. When he comes back, he's carrying 3 oranges in his hands. You notice as he places one carefully in front of an empty chair, presumably for Twyla. And then, of the remaining two, he gives you the bigger one. Aw, thanks. You thank him. Do you know why Twyla called us here? No idea. She did not even tell Gunther that there would be a friend here, but Gunther is happy for the surprise nonetheless. You tell Gunther the same, that Twyla had called you to meet here for lunch, but didn't tell you that she had invited Gunther too. But you're happy to see him in return. He was very kind when you last met. You as well. But before you two can say much else to each other... Oh hey, you're back. Twyla steps into the cafeteria. She approaches the table as brisk as ever, and with an attitude that you worry for a second she's gonna slam her hands onto the table and yell at both of you. She doesn't, though. She stops right before the table but doesn't take a seat. She seems to prefer to look down on you when she's speaking. Good afternoon. I wanted to ask both of you a favor. Relating to, you know. You can only guess Twyla is referring to the murder. You glance over to Gunther. He appears upset. He must know too, and understands what she's referring to. I wanted to look at the headmistress' office, you see, but I know she's in right now. I need you guys to do something bad. Bad? Something to get her out of the office. Cause enough commotion that I can go in and look through some stuff of hers. Friend Twyla, Gunther doesn't know about this. Gunther would like to help, but Gunther does not want to disappoint Miss Headmistress. Bean. She calls to you. Surely you can convince Gunther to do it, right? We'll do something else. Excuse me? You explain to Twyla and Gunther that causing trouble doesn't have to be the only way to get a headmistress's attention. You're sure that there's other ways you can get her out of the office that doesn't involve making the job harder for her. You're not sure what you can do yet, but you're sure that two of you can figure something out. Very well. You two get to it then. Gunther, text me when she's out of the office, alright? Yes, friend Twyla, will do. Gunther leaves out the cafeteria, feeling much more comforted by your suggestion. You're about to follow him when Twyla grabs you harshly by the arm. I don't actually need you guys to distract the headmistress. Huh? I need you to keep Gunther distracted for a while. Twyla scans the room around quickly and then speaks to you in a whisper, as if she'd be embarrassed for anyone to hear her next words out loud. We're still going to dance together. You haven't forgotten that part. Are you embarrassed of me? I am offended. You tell her that you haven't forgotten. Right. Well, as for our plans that night, we're going to need some keys. It shouldn't be a surprise that most of those places we need to look into will be locked. But Gunther, he's got a group with just about every club room in this school. He has the keys for a lot of them. So I need you to keep him distracted while I go get my hands on them. You can do that, right? Well, you can try, you suppose. Is it really alright for her to go behind her friend's back like that? And how is she going to get those keys? Are they in his dorm or... He's not my friend. And don't worry about how I'm going to get those keys. I'll explain it later, but right now you're wasting time. Get out of there before he starts to wonder about you. Keep him busy, okay? Twyla practically shoves you out of the cafeteria doors to go catch up with Gunther. You're obliged by her commands. You can sense that you aren't as close to Twyla as the others you've met. Yeah, no shit. So as long as it'll get her to like you, you'll have little issue following her instructions and do what she asks of you. You exit into the hallway where of course you're once again met with Gunther. Bean, I was getting worried about you. What were you talking about with friend Twyla in there? She was appreciative of the orange. She just ran out so fast, she probably wasn't able to thank him properly. So she had asked you to pass along the message. Ah, really? Gunther is glad. Friend Twyla is very polite, is she? Sure, why not? Gunther begins to walk with you down the hall towards no one in particular. So, what are we gonna do? Gunther must admit he does not have many ideas. Unfortunately, you don't either. You know Twyla isn't actually worried about the headmistress's office, but Gunther still thinks she is. You still need to come up with a plan to drag the headmistress away from her office so that Gunther will think the two of you did a job well done. But thinking of things you can do that don't involve causing a ruckus is a little challenging. As you continue down the hall, you notice that it isn't long before you run into... Oh! Gunther! Oh, and Bean! Nice to see you, buddy! She turns back to Gunther. Gunther, can I ask you a favor real quick? Of course, friend Mitzi, what's the matter? Okay, I know I still haven't paid you back for last time, but... Do you think I can borrow some money again? Gunther is a fucking pushover. My favorite band is having a merch sale, limited edition, see? And my folks promised me to send money, but they said it wouldn't be for another week, and this sale is this weekend only. I swear I'll totally pay you back everything by next weekend, okay? No problem at all. Yeah, no, not fair, man. You weren't trying to say anything bad about Mitzi, but if she hasn't paid him back from a previous instance of borrowing money, it's a little rude to ask for some more, especially when it isn't an emergency. Yeah, Bean's right. Sorry, Gunther, I think I just got a little in my own world about that. I'll see you later, no hard feelings, yeah? Mitzi walks off after that. Oh no, I think Gunther's also not happy about that. They seem more embarrassed than they do worried. Than they do hurt. But when you look to Gunther, you notice that he seems a bit down himself. Bean, I know we have to help friend Twyla, but I do not like seeing friend Mitzi so upset. Please excuse me. Gunther is gonna buy friend Mitzi's... Oh my god. He will return momentarily, but this is something he must do himself. Before you can protest, Gunther rushes off, which isn't good for you, but you told Twyla you would keep him distracted. At the very least, having him out of sight isn't good. You're surprised he's willing to just give Mitzi money even after last time, but looks like you're out of luck this time. He's a goddamn pushover. Anyway, ... Gunther pulls out his phone and does a quick digital transfer. Awesome, you're the best. I'll totes give you the cash back later. Just as quickly as they enter the scene, Mitzi leaves once again. Almost as if she was never there to begin with. You're shocked that Gunther was so willing to just fork over the money, even when they haven't paid him back yet. But when you turn back to Gunther about it, he doesn't seem worried at all. Bean, this has given Gunther an idea to help the headmistress. Oh? We can buy the headmistress something. It sounds like a nice idea in theory, but what could the both of you buy her? If you're going to go into town and buy something, that'd take way too long. And if you're gonna buy her something from the school store, well, chances are she already seen it all and doesn't need any of it. Either way, would you be able to buy something for her that would be enough to coax her out of the office? Something like that would have to be expensive, and you're sure she'd raise questions as to why the two of you brought the school principal such an expensive present. You're sure she would know in an instant that you were up to no good. Ah, fair. But hey, it's not a bad starting point. Not bad at all, actually. Maybe you had something physical to present her with, then maybe. Hey, G-Man! Oh my god, this is Crowan. Suddenly, Crowan is approaching the two of you. It appears the G-Man he was talking to was none other than Gunther. When he spots you, he smiles. Sup, Bean? You return his greeting and then he turns back to Gunther. G-Man, buddy, listen. You free tomorrow? Ah, Gunther should be. Perfect. Awesome. Cause, okay, listen to this, alright? You and I were going to go to town and buy a TV tomorrow. Try and sneak it in our dorms dressed up in wrapping paper or something. Thinking you could carry it? Oh my god. Again. Haha, such jokesters you are. Of course Gunther can carry it. He is strong. Haha, nice. I knew I could count on you. See you by the buses tomorrow morning, bud. Crowan leaves the two of you alone after that. You begin to sense a pattern with all these people Gunther interacts with. Bean? You snap your attention to Gunther. Gunther has a confession to make. It looks like a shade of embarrassment, one closer to being ashamed. You ask him what's wrong. Gunther is unsure how to help friend Twyla. He feels bad, but he does not want to keep her waiting, especially knowing how important the matter is. But he does not know what comes next. He does not want to inconvenience everyone. Oh no. You're being taken advantage of. Huh? You tell Gunther that the way people interact with him is less than considerate, but he doesn't seem to notice the ways in which people are using him. Mitzi hasn't returned his money before asking him for more, and from the sound of it, it isn't any cheap sum of cash either. Croven and Theo are having him do their hard work, lugging around a bulky piece of equipment he probably won't even get to use. Did either of them say thank you? Sure, they seemed happy he was going to help them, but did they ever actually thank him at the end of their exchanges? And then Twyla. You don't tell Gunther about Twyla's intentions, but you do tell him that Twyla told you she doesn't think of him as being a friend, and he deserves to know that, especially after all the lengths he seems to go for her, and the way he regards her as being a friend. Gunther sits in silence for a few moments, and then, oh no, Bean. Well, I mean, it's a kind of... Do you think Gunther is stupid? That Gunther does not... Oh. That Gunther does not know all these things already? His voice booms throughout the empty hallway. In the short time you've known Gunther, you regarded him as being a very sweet and gentle despite his size. But for the first time you feel almost threatened by his voice. Why do you think I do this? Do you think I'm incapable of saying no? If there's something Gunther does not want to do, he will not do it. Gunther helps because he wants to. Gunther calls friend Twyla friend because it is how he feels about her. Gunther does not mind because Gunther loves his friends. Gunther's anger has turned into pained sadness. Pain inflicted by none other than you. Hey, I didn't do anything, okay? You're unsure what to say. You attempt to apologize, but Gunther cuts you off. You must have mistaken my kindness for stupidity. Well, maybe a little bit. You have insulted my intelligence. Gunther does not wish to speak to you anymore. Oh my god. Gunther runs down the hallway, eyes misty with tears, trying to get as far away from you as possible. You were only trying to help him, but perhaps you shouldn't have assumed so much about him. You're not quite sure how you'll be able to get him to forgive you, but you hope that you can think of a way before the next time you see him. Well, you're very kind. Huh? You tell Gunther that he's a very kind friend. He seems to worry a lot about his other friends and their happiness. It's no wonder the others like him so much. You think he shouldn't worry too hard You think he shouldn't worry too hard over it. Twyla will understand. This isn't an easy task after all. Of course, you have the inside information that Twyla doesn't actually care about the headmistress, but you aren't going to tell Gunther about that. That is kind of you to say. Gunther is happy you feel that way. Gunther worries, you know. It's why he is so willing to help friend Twyla. I love Aether West. The community that has been built here, the wonderful people who live here, they mean so much to Gunther. That is why, after that thing happened, Gunther could not imagine. Gunther loves everyone here, and so he will do his best to keep them happy, because when they are happy, Gunther is happy. You tell him that is very sweet. You're not sure if you've ever met a more selfless person. He smiles as bright as the sunshine as the two of you leave the corridor and enter the courtyard. And is there the two of you spot the headmistress? She's sitting on the edge of the fountain, smile resting gently on her face. You and Gunther approach her. Miss Headmistress? Oh, hello you two. Isn't it a beautiful day outside? You're not in your office? Well, I was. But it gets so stuffy in there. I thought it would be nice to sit outside. I actually just sat down. I was about to start my lunch break. You watch as Gunther smiles and pulls out his phone to text Twyla. Lunch break would be more than enough time for her to look through the headmistress's office, even though you know Twyla's true intentions. Still, it made Gunther satisfied to believe he helped her, and it looked like everything managed to work out after all. How about you both? Enjoying the weather? Yes, Gunther is happy to have such a pretty day. He looks at you with a big smile on his face, and is happy he gets to enjoy it with friend Bean. Yay! I have friends now. Alright, this one. That's a rude reason to invite him. Huh? You tell Groven it sounds like the only reason they're inviting him is to have him carry their things for them. And from the sounds of things, Theo and Groven are dorm mates, but Gunther isn't. So even if Gunther brings the TV back for them, it's not like he'll get to enjoy it. Jeez, how low do you think of me? We're gonna take him out to lunch and stuff too. Whatever, I'm sure we can carry it ourselves. Groven leaves without saying much else. You didn't mean to sound so harsh, you just felt like Gunther was being treated unfairly. But when you look back to Gunther, he seems sadder than you've ever seen him. We did not need to say that. Gunther is strong, he can carry the TV. I know we promised to help friend Twyla, but Gunther is going to make up with friend Groven. Gunther is happy to bring him the TV. Gunther leaves you in the middle of the hallway. You only had good intentions of trying to defend him, but it appears those intentions are not well received. Perhaps you should also try to make up with Groven later to ensure his impression of you is not too solid. If you could do it again, you probably wouldn't have said anything at all. Alright, these two I've done. She was asking about something else. Someone else in class. Friend Twyla always does this one. Friend Twyla always does well in class. Gunther aspires to her skill. Gunther begins to walk if you don't know how else. Okay. We didn't talk about anything. Oh, I see. You're unsure of what he means by that. No, it's okay. Gunther understands. You must like friend Twyla very much. No, I really don't. If he's trying to imply you have a crush on her, it's... No, no need to explain yourself. Your feelings. Gunther is just assuming. They are for you to know for sure. I don't like her at all, actually. Okay, how are you today? Oh ho? Gunther is extravagant. Gunther has won an online giveaway from an expensive snow globe. Even though it's just the two of you, Gunther leans a little closer as he speaks in a hushed tone. But between Gunther and you, Gunther rigged it just a little bit. Gunther had many accounts enter for more chance the snow globe would go to Gunther. You giggle a bit at Gunther's confession. You tell him that next time you'd be more than willing to help him win a snow globe or something. But before you two can say much else to each other. Alright. Oh wait, I forgot about this. We'll do it. No, Bean. You will. Okay. Gunther will not tattle, but cannot disappoint the headmistress. So sorry. Gunther heads out of the cafeteria. Damn it, this isn't gonna work. I actually need him for this. We'll try again another day. Twyla then leaves too. You're alone in the cafeteria once again. You're not sure what Twyla could be screaming next, but looks like you won't be able to find out today. I think that's it. Alright, that's it for today's episode of the game. I forgot the game's name. Something about Sweetheart. Here for Sweethearts, alright. That's it for today's episode of Here for Sweethearts. I'm really enjoying this. I think the last one is like the last episode I can do of it. Like, until there are more updates and I'm gonna play more then, but eventually we'll get to meet Mary, aka Scary Mary, and Reginald, who some people in the school think that he's the one responsible for the murder. Well, no, it was Ollie. They said that the girls told them that Reginald is the murderer. Yeah. I'm really excited for it. So, again, if you want to play this for yourself, seriously, to go down the description and play it. It's nice. Very great. I love it. You should go see more from the creator of this game. They do great things like It's Not Me, It's My Basement, Crow Scare, I think. And I'm gonna play so much more from the maker of this game. So, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, do all those good stuff. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!